We welcome you to Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park at our all-new audio podcast studio. Titans Tonight with Keith Bulluck, presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners, official bank of your Tennessee Titans. Visit titansbanking.com to learn all of Pinnacle's winning plays. Pinnacle Financial Partners, member FDIC. Amy Wells is here.
Hi, Mike. Do you ever think about calling this just the Odd Pod Studio?
Odd Pod.
What is it called?
It's the audio podcast studio. It will
so if we're going
eventually
to short it.
It will have a corporate name in 2025.
But until
They're
then.
tripping. This
Somebody
needs to
will
be the Mike Keith studio.
No. I don't know.
I like Odd Pod.
It
He's
it could be
disregarding
that.
what I'm saying.
It could be that for a while,
The
but
Odd
it's going to
Pod
be
Studio.
Okay.
It's going to be the blankety blank.
Someone with food. Please be
It would be
someone
so
with
great.
food.
What's the price? What's the going price? Let's say
not
what's
our
it?
area.
Yeah,
The-
that
the
I
ad-
don't know.
The adults get to do that.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
just put in my request for genres
But
of
here's
sponsors.
the thing: we get the food thing.
I love this food thing.
But
Which one? Canes?
Ooh, that would be a good one.
I
Wouldn't
can't
it?
comment on that openly. But wow.
my stomach is interested.
I
You make a lot of studios or shows around here a little envious.
I would be, if that. But here's the thing: if a food place is going to sponsor us, we'd like food.
You got to give us food.
I mean,
That's part of the deal.
That would be
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, no,
fantastic.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000% for sure. That makes sense.
I mean,
I would feel that's part of the package.
Well, I mean,
snacks for all
you would think,
employees.
but it's never. It's just.
They just install a little hot tray, hot box.
I
refrigerator.
still think one of the greatest things I've ever seen in a commercial is the Taco Bell in Devontae Adams' house.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was one of the greatest commercials I have ever seen, and because you think, oh well, that's really funny that they did, and then you start thinking about it.
Would I put a Taco Bell in my house?
Maybe not. Maybe not Taco
It's
Bell.
one of the
but
things you think about as a kid all the time. Like,
Canes.
Like what would I
Maybe.
put in my house?
Yeah,
It
Canes.
wouldn't be Taco Bell. You need a lot of toilet paper if you're Taco Bell.
All right, we're diving in here.
Might as well get a toilet paper, Scotty tissue in there too.
Wow. For what will be the final Titans Tonight of November, because next week with Thanksgiving we are off on Wednesday night.
I appreciate the heads up. I was about to tell y'all I won't be here.
Well,
We got you,
when we
man.
planned it, we kind of knew because that's happened every year we've done the show.
Right.
Yes, you've been off.
Yes.
And then we've been left to do Titans Tonight with
Us.
us. People are like,
Appreciate that.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
world.
big
got
winners.
us.
You get that on the podcast twice a week. Do you
Yeah.
really want it again? No.
The three-peat? No.
Okay, injury report today brought to you by nobody.
Yet.
Jack Gibbons with the ankle obviously did not practice today. He had surgery on the ankle. Jack's going to go on IR maybe as early as Friday. I mean, we'll see. That you obviously don't want to commit to that. I mean, I guess you could go ahead and put him on IR right now, but I think they want to see what they might need in terms of a roster spot.
I just want to comment on Jack Gibbons. He was
Please.
playing really well. Coach Mack and I, we did a film breakdown session last week for Verizon, I believe.
Yeah. I heard that was
and-
great.
Yeah, and it was the play. One of the breakdowns was the play that Amani Hooker made to seal the deal versus the Patriots. And the reason why Amani was able to make that play, and people ask me all the time, like, yo, can you get out there and give one more play? And I'm like, no, but realistically, after seeing the play that Jack Gibbons made, I couldn't, because as the Mike, he's responsible for number 3. And number 3 was a wide receiver that ran a crosser all the way, like a deep crosser.
Okay.
So he had to run under that. By him showing under that, Drake May had to take his eyes off number 3 and then go to the next receiver over, who was the wide receiver running the post. So he helped out the safety in giving the safety confidence that, okay, the linebacker has this guy. I don't have to worry about this one. Now Amani can take his eyes to the next threat, and that next threat was the one-on-one backside that he came off the hash and made that play. So I say I can't make that because Jack Gibbons was hauling ass across the field with that wide receiver, but that really made that play because if he didn't see that crosser, now it leaves Amani Hooker in a bind. Do I go play that one or do I take this one running at me full speed, and then it's a different outcome of the game? So it's tough that the Titans lost that. That's lost Jack because those are the little things that a first-year guy or a second-year guy ain't going to get out there and do.
Well, and time again, we've heard about, obviously, what he can do on the field, but what he's able to do in the classroom, how just incredibly smart he is, but also dialed into what the game plan is every single week, what he's supposed to be doing and what the people around him are supposed to be doing. So it's a big loss from that standpoint, not only just having someone who physically can do the things that he does on the field, but also having another person who can help everybody be on the same page, help communicate, because he understands what everybody's looking at and how all of these pieces fit together.
Dr. Gibby.
Dr. Gibby, that's right.
The running mate of whomever the next linebacker is, Kenneth Murray, did not practice today with a shoulder. The anticipation is Jerome Baker is going to take over for Jack Gibbons at that spot. He's a guy that's played a lot of football. He has over 600 career tackles, Keith. Do you make him the green dot as the guy who's going to call the defense? With him going in now, he hadn't played football in a month when he stepped back in for the Titans after being traded from Seattle. Do you put that on him as well as saying, oh, by the way, you're starting, you're going to play 50, 60 snaps against a good offense, and we'd like for you to call the defense?
I would assume – I mean, you could, but I don't – who's calling it now? I would assume Kenneth Murray. Is he not calling it? Or
So when we asked that question of Brian Callahan, he indicated that they had both been calling some.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's a great question. Me personally, no, I wouldn't expect a guy that just came in off the street a few weeks ago to come in and, verbalize the different communications because I'm sure he's still uncertain of some of the calls that is going on. I would like for him to just get out there, especially in his first start, and just say, what'd you say? All right, cool, and go through it because when you're calling, when you make the calls, over a cover 4, it's that simple, right? Now you're lining up, and here comes somebody. What'd you say? Where's this? You got to get yourself lined up. You got to make a close call. There's like a bunch of different things before you could be like, okay, now I can settle in and play. So I would rather him being able to get the call, line up, settle in, and play.
Can I ask a stupid question?
It's not stupid.
Well, it might be.
Might be.
Is it harder when you're making the call to then, remember what it is you almost just said? Because I know for me, when I'm just speaking out loud sometimes, I will say something to people and then be like, okay, what did I just say? Because I'm thinking about, somebody said something to me. I'm thinking about relaying it correctly, making sure that everybody else has the information. And then when I finally get to myself and what I need to be doing, it's like, what just came out of my mouth?
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm not even being funny when I say this. It's practice, in practice. And then when I watch film, I go through what I think Schwartz is going to call when it's on first down. I could be like, okay, I know our first down we're either going to play, or he already told us, we're going to play man-to-man on first and second down this week. So I know the man calls. I could see where I'm going to be. I understand what plays they're going to run. Third down, we're going to do this. 3rd and 3 to 6, medium range. We're probably going to play one slam, a man coverage to clamp on them tight. 3rd and 8 to 12, we could do a cover 2, let them catch the ball, tackle them in front of us, get off the field. So those are the type of things once you get to that level, you're already going, you're already ready. You're not gonna there's not a laugh because there's not too many times where you're gonna be surprised, but yeah, when you are, it sucks.
Yeah.
Other Titans from the injury report today, Justin Hardy, who's a gunner on special teams, did not practice with a groin. He missed the game the other day. Defensive end Sebastian Joseph Day, biceps injury, did not practice. Roger McCrary, knee, did not practice. Mentioned Kenneth Murray, shoulder, did not practice. Calvin Ridley was out sick. Jeffrey Simmons rested. L'Jarius Sneed, who will not play again this week, still out with the quad. That means he will have missed 6 straight games. Leroy Watson, the tackle, out with a back injury. The indication is he's not going to play.
Yeah.
Initially, from what was said in the Wednesday press conference from Brian Callahan. And Tajay Spears in concussion protocol did not practice today. They were optimistic about him on Monday, but we'll have to wait and see because, as we know, sometimes it gets worse during the course of a week. Sometimes it clears up right away. It's just different with everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, it was when I played, we didn't necessarily have the protocol. So as long as you can say your name and focus on the pin, you get right back in. I think they do a better job of that situation now.
Texans played on Monday, so everything on their injury report today basically worthless because they held a walkthrough.
Yeah.
So
That's the spirit.
They estimated like Danico Autry, knee oblique injury, did not practice. Folo Fatukasi, defensive tackle, foot injury. Blake Fisher, concussion, did not practice. Azeez Al-Shire, knee, limited. Will Anderson, ankle, limited. He's missed the last couple games. Be interesting to see if he gets back. Derek Stingley, hip, limited. And Kamari Lassiter, concussion, full participation. So, again, just a walk through in Houston because they beat Dallas on Monday night.
They sure did.
So, you guys were firsthand right there at the game. I was on my couch.
Yeah.
You know, best seat in the house when you don't have to work. What are your thoughts on the overall performance of the Titans from the previous week in Los Angeles to this week when they came home?
I like how they played.
Mm-hmm.
I had no problem with the way they got after it. They continued to make plays in different areas, big plays, and Simmons gets in there and recovers that fumble, and that's a play you got to make. The ball. I mean, he's good at that too.
Mm-hmm.
He gets in the middle of that, and he is going to take the ball, and there's a special skill to that. And they made plays in the passing game. There were just good moments where they had answers. The play that was overruled or was taken away in the end zone because of the hit. I mean, let's just stop with whether it was a foul or not on Mike Brown. They stopped him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of play you've got to make. And if the call goes against you, the call goes against you. But there are things that are starting to show up in that way. Minnesota's a better team. That's a good football team. And the better team won, but I liked what I saw.
I think the word that I saw, especially comparing it from Chargers week to Vikings week, was improvement and noticeable improvement, marked improvement. I think Will Levis looked much more confident. He seemed much more in command of what was going on the field. He seemed, and I mean, Coach Callahan has talked about this a lot, about how he was meeting the moment a little bit. He had a better gauge of when to take a chance, when to make a bigger play, when to hold back. It felt like he's starting to get a feel for it. And I think a lot of that is just confidence. That's feeling like, okay, what I'm seeing is correct. My instinct, my intuition is correct. So I think all of those things, seeing that continue to grow and being an outside person and noticing that, I think is a really big deal.
Levis's body language is better.
It's different and in the best way.
Yeah, it's a different body language. When after he threw the 98-yard touchdown pass, I sort of described him to Coach Callahan. We were talking the other day. I said he's like a three-point shooter that gets hot. There's just when that quarterback does that, there's something different about him, and you're wondering, can he carry it over? And he's going against another really good defense, as we apparently are going to see every really good defense in the NFL this year.
There's something in the water this year.
That's just like apparently a rule that every great defense in 2024, we're going to see every one of them.
That's interesting. The last thing that you said about Will and what you said, that his confidence after the pass, because I'm thinking like There wasn't, I was a very confident player in this league, and I was thinking about the times like when my confidence weren't as up as normal. But I remember, being a role player my first 2 years, playing special teams, then playing on nickel, and messing up, and then not being a repeat offender. That's a Greg Williams thing. Don't be a repeat offender, because it's like, all right, if I jump the shallow the first third and 9, the second third and 9, they're going to run the same play again. Don't jump the shallow. Stand back and get the pick. So that's what worked for me. And then I remember my first game as a starter versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I played all right. Didn't really make any play, but for my standard, I didn't play to my standard. And then we come back the next week, we play the Cowboys, then I played better. But then there was still some mistakes, and now I'm starting to get to it. So I say all that to say Will Levis has made plays in the NFL before. He made plays last year, and that was last year before the tape was out on him. He came out this year, and every year is different. You got to see where you're at and what's going on. And now he's really, he's taking control of the helm. Everything is on him. And the first 2 games he comes out, everybody's like, yo, what's going on? And then he's even like, yo, what's going on? I'm not used to playing like this. And then he gets hurt. And now he's trying to come back from an injury. And then people are like, oh, should he play or should he not? Leave him alone. So now, hearing what you guys are saying, and I'm seeing the same thing you guys are saying, I just asked you guys because you're right up on it. You can hear on the sidelines and things of that nature. It takes that sometimes for an athlete when you have done things before and you're a special kind of athlete, and we're still trying to find out with Will, but and we've seen him make plays before. So now it's like one of those things where he's probably getting his swagger back a little bit. And I think these next 2 games are huge for him personally, not just the team, because he's playing against some of his contemporaries in C.J. Stroud and Jaden Daniels. So he gets to be like, look, our team is – and what are we've been talking about? You want to stack maybe not wins, but games. And if you want to get the wins, but it seems as from San Diego to coming back home, things have gotten better. So this is a great opportunity for him to show, Coach Callahan, Rand, Titans Nation, that he is the quarterback of the future against 2 very good young quarterbacks.
Well, Dave McGinnis always says, don't be an IE. Mm-hmm. Don't be an instant evaluator.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And I think a lot of people were IEs when it came to Will Levis and didn't maybe accept the premise that he's going to get the whole year. They're going to play him. And then you see the last 2 games, and you see a couple plays that he makes with his arm, with his legs, with the deep ball. I mean, we haven't had a lot of people that could do some of the things physically that he can do. Mm-hmm. And you want to see. I mean, if this guy can work out, if he can run this offense and he can be that guy, it's a big deal for Brian Callahan because, Will leaves Penn State where it doesn't work out because he doesn't fit their mold. He goes to Kentucky. He finds an offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, mm-hmm. and everything clicks. And Kentucky has a really nice year, and there's some good things happening. And then what happens? Liam Cohen leaves.
Yep.
New offensive coordinator. All right. Did not have as good a second year at Kentucky. Comes to the Titans, plays for a coaching staff that really believes in him, a head coach that believed in drafting him, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. A whole bunch of people, and he showed some promise. And then what happens? Staff gets fired. We're starting over again. Mm-hmm. It would be so great if he could just have a second year with the same people.
Yeah. Consistency, I think, in Will.
Anything.
Yeah. But we have to remember he's still so young in his career.
He's played a lot of football.
He's played a lot of football.
He's 25.
Yeah.
He's not 22.
I'm not going to let him get that one.
Well, no, but he is still in his first year, and he has had new coaching staff.
Right.
Yes.
He has had new scheme.
Right.
He has had injuries. He has had, I mean, the
New
man.
terminology.
Yeah,
New-
the
yep.
man has had a lot of obstacles that people who are in their third, fourth, fifth year in the National Football League need some time to overcome as well.
At
There's
the s-
no team.
At the same time, though, he's got to show tangible results. And the last 2 weeks, he has done that.
Yeah.
He has shown some tangible results. I mean, take out the pick with a minute 57 to go.
Trying to make a play.
He's got to make a play. I mean, the team has no chance unless they somehow get a tip ball touchdown and score fast. And so take that out. That's trash. He hasn't had a turnover in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
If you
which is progress.
Well, that's what you need.
So I'm just like, and that's great. It's progress. But right now, and I'm sure like up against the break soon, but right now I know that for you to be a guy in this league, you got to at some point when you're given the opportunity, take things personal. You know, and I
Right.
know when I played against Urlacher or LeVar Arrington or Ray Lewis or Derek Brooks, I'm trying to be the best linebacker on the field, like hands down. I don't care. On top of the other assignments I have, you know, so it's always in the back of your mind as an athlete. So I'd love to see him.
So
take
he's
going to
go try to beat C.J. Stroud.
1,000%.
Yep. All right, we get a break and be back with more Titans Tonight with Keith Bulluck and Amy Wells, presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners on Titans Radio. We welcome you back to Titans Tonight, presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners, official bank of the Tennessee Titans. Keith Bulluck, Amy Wells, and me, Mike Keith. You wanted to say something else about Will Levis playing against C.J. Stroud this weekend.
Oh yeah, just to close that off, I said make it personal, go playing against. But at the end of the day, just want to get a win, play within the structure he's been playing within, because I think since he's been back, he's been managing, the offense fairly well. Take a step, obviously, but the things that he's become more conscious about, I think he's become more self-aware. And the way that he was playing before, did a little self-scouting, and I think he's definitely come back with the new approach. But, yeah, always keep that in the back of the mind. Like, he's a killer. You got to be a killer.
Go get you one.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I've been impressed with Stroud this year for this reason. His stats aren't as good. He's already thrown more picks than he did last year.
Wow.
Of course, he threw 5 last year. That was it. So he's already thrown 7. He's just thrown 12 touchdown passes, completing 63% of his passes. He's fumbled 5 times, lost 3 of them. But I felt like year 2 would really be tough on him based on the fact that everybody gets the adjustment. Everybody gets the offseason to say, oh, you do this and you do this. And yet C.J. Stroud keeps going. He's not as spectacular, but his team's 7-4. He makes plays. He doesn't look lost or confused or depressed when – I mean, he's still playing. It's harder.
Yeah.
But to me, that's a pro move, because we've all seen guys in year 2 in this league who suddenly get out there and they freak out because it's not as easy as it was in year 1.
They've been found out.
Right. And he's not doing that.
Like there are certain there's one game, the Jets, they went up to New York. The Jets got on them, jumped on them pretty bad. And to what you said, to add on to what you said, year 2 you have not seen everything. They're gonna throw new wrinkles, so the Jets might have just had a day, and then you come back into the meeting room on Monday, and the coach watches the film with you, and it's like when you see this rotation or you see this safety, because a lot of things in football are built-in concepts. It's just based upon how each coordinator runs it offensively or defensively. So I believe in teaching the concept, because once you see and understand the concept, you can correlate it to any offense that you're in. So a young player like C.J. Stroud, obviously he's a quick learner. I'm curious and anxious, not anxious, I'm just curious to see how he plays on the back end at 7-4. Obviously this conference isn't that tough, but you still got to win each week.
Well, I'm more impressed with him now than I was last year, because his statistics last year almost mirror what Robert Griffin III did in his rookie year.
Wow.
Almost.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Almost, I mean, I think he 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Robert Griffin III, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Robert Griffin III ran for more yards, but they were certainly comparable surprise first seasons. And then Robert Griffin, and he got hurt.
Yeah.
So
once he got hurt,
yeah,
it kind of went
but
downhill.
he was never the same player at any point after that. And this kid has come back and done his thing, and I think has done it very well. I mean, I think he's a pro quarterback, and I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I'm more sold seeing him go through hardship than I was last year when they were the surprise team and he was the surprise guy. And nobody knew what Bobby Slowick was going to do as offensive coordinator. And now, it's funny because now in Houston, they're like, Bobby Slowick, he's got to do – and it's like, he's still a good coach. So he didn't invent football now like he did a year ago, according to the same people.
So fickle.
Well, but what they did, they might have made the best trade of the offseason.
Oh.
Because they traded for Joe Mixon.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They traded a 7th-round pick for Joe Mixon, who is the second leading rusher.
He was coming off of an injury.
Yeah, he's a bad man.
Yeah, he runs the ball really, really hard, really well. I like how they mix him into the offense, and I know, that helps C.J. Stroud out a lot, alleviates the pressure of him having to, make those plays downfield. And I think a lot of C.J. Stroud confidence comes even this year from he's done it before.
Right.
He's done it before, and he trusts who he's playing with. He trusts who's around them. And, look, we all know that Houston was just down in the dumps 2-3 years ago.
I mean, 2 years ago.
Yeah, so it happens, quicker than you think, once you get the pieces in place and, everyone gets on the same page. So, that's what's going on here.
You want to hear something weird about them, though? So I was doing their Too Deep today for my little charts.
They're not little charts,
Well,
Mike. They're great charts.
Little charts.
They're good
And
adult charts.
They carry 27 guys on defense, 23 guys on offense, and obviously 3 special teams guys. Usually teams go 25, and 3, or 26, 24, and 3. They may carry – but they are more slanted towards defense. Of course, you'd say, first of all, D'Amico Ryans was a linebacker, so he's going to want more defense. But what it seems to me in going through it is they are truly still playing with some professional special teamers. They have some guys who are really, really those core 4 guys in the special teams and are really good at it. And I think that has shown up. I mean, their front, though, Will Anderson, he's really good. Mario Edwards, who was here in 2022 playing defensive tackle.
Yep.
Folo Fatakasi, who was playing for Jacksonville.
Like Mario Edwards, North Carolina State.
Florida State.
Okay.
You're thinking about the dad.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. Yes, the dad. This is Mario Edwards
Mr.
Jr.
Edwards.
And then Danielle Hunter. What a beast that guy is. He had 16.5 sacks last year.
Sheesh.
He's got over 70 quarterback pressures this year.
Yeah, I was
70, 70?
7-0.
Whoa.
What side does he play on?
Sounds like all the sides.
Well,
he's coming from everywhere.
He had 16.5 sacks last year in Minnesota in year 8. 23 tackles for loss. He just shows up, and they've got all these guys. Like Anderson's.
They got Danico Autry, too.
Oh, Danico Autry. Yeah.
He was making plays last night.
I know. I'm so broken.
How old is he? It don't even
they
matter. I just
he's-
want to know.
They say he's 34.
There's no way.
When he gets on the plane, he looks like he's 54.
He's drinking that LeBron juice.
Well, listen. So he would get on the plane last year after the games on the road, and he would come up and sit with us. And they would put him in a position right at the front of our section. He was away from the players, because he needed to be able to stretch
his
out
legs out.
because they would ice him so much.
Dang.
I mean, he's got like a bag of ice on knees.
Every
Oh, he's trying to catch
Extremity.
that swelling before that
Right.
altitude
Yep.
is.
Right. He's
Yep.
34. I mean, he was a Juke. He's from North Carolina.
His achy bones.
He's from Albemarle.
Ooh.
Who?
Albemarle, North Carolina.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, wow.
And didn't qualify out of high school, so he went JUCO in Mississippi. Then he ended up at Mississippi State. He ends up going to the Raiders and becoming an undrafted and makes their team. And then, I mean, he's made a ton of dough.
He would have been Prop 48 in my day.
I think he still was Prop 48,
Dang,
which
that's
is
what's
why
up.
he
I
had,
always appreciate those players.
I do too.
I love playing with guys like that
I
because
do
it's
too.
whatever. It is whatever. On and off the field.
Well, Danico has that. I was talking to Mark Vandermeer, and he's the voice of the Houston Texans. And I had told him, I said, "Oh, you're going to love Danico." And he goes, Danico, he's kind of scary. I said, "Well, he's not really.
he's
He's
nice.
really
He's a
a
very nice
lovely
man."
guy." But he does have that. I mean, you see him. I mean, it's
Yeah.
He's
on, man.
He is an imposing
He's an
human.
imposing human.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, he's probably 280 pounds, 285. But, I mean, he can play up and down the line. He can play stand-up linebacker.
Yep.
I mean, he's one of those dudes. He was a great basketball player. And so he's still got all these skills. And that's what I told Mark when they got him. I said, he doesn't really have a set position. They list him as the backup at defensive end. That's not right. I mean, he'll play
Anything.
anywhere in any situation. He's a winning football player.
Yep.
It's a mechanic. Do anything you need him to do.
I hope he sits out. I really do. It would make me feel so much
love to
better.
hear that.
I
Well,
was
mean,
brokenhearted when he left.
Gosh, but before he came to the Titans, he always played really well
he
against the Titans.
tortured us.
And then he was a great player when he was here, and then
We would hug him and tell him how
injury
much we loved him. That
that was only you, but I mean, we were happy he was here.
It was like I so didn't want to play against him again. We
Yeah.
couldn't block him.
Yeah, no,
when he was
never.
when he was in Oakland or
Indy.
Las Vegas or Los Angeles or wherever the
Wherever
Raiders
they
were
were.
that month, and then when he came to Indianapolis, we couldn't do anything with him, and that's why I'm hoping he doesn't play Sunday.
Yeah,
Get well.
get better soon. Take the week
Yeah.
off. Just rest.
He's.
Put your leg
I don't know
up.
that we've ever had another guy quite like him.
No.
You would know.
Well,
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
would.
we've had some really good defensive linemen, but most of them is like Kyle Vanden Bosch was a defensive end, and Albert was a defensive tackle, and Jeffrey's a defensive tackle, and you kind of go on and on. Tavondre's really a nose tackle. I don't know what Danico is.
He's an
The
everything.
only player that I can, based off how you describe him, that I
Okay.
can think of is maybe Jason Jones, but he didn't get to play here long
Well,
enough.
Jason Jones was like this. That's
Yeah,
exactly
like where he
right.
could play out end or inside.
He was weird in terms of being a. Well, I don't mean it that way, but I mean he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm
He
sure
would-
he is.
He was unusual like that too. I mean, he had the great game in 2008
Yeah.
against the Steelers. He had 3.5 sacks
Wow.
in the game that got us home field, where Vanden Bosch and Hainsworth were out.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's why I stomped the towel. Because they thought we were going to get killed. They didn't give us a shot.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
So I knew, playoff. Well, I was the utmost confident that whoever we were playing in the playoffs at home, we were going to beat. I didn't care who it was. So I knew that we were going to play Pittsburgh again at home. It's not our fault. It is our fault. We didn't handle our business. Pittsburgh did.
Yeah. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Cuts me deep, Shrek.
Dark.
Thinking about Danico and then that, I need a break.
Mike needs a reset.
I
Bartender.
need a break. You're not wrong. Yeah, you get to know those guys. You love those guys, though.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Especially guys who did it the way he did it.
Yep.
There's so much respect for, and I got nothing against the guys who were picked 4th overall or something. I'm for them too, but
No, I get
Like
it.
Tony Brown?
Yeah.
Man, I love Tony Brown.
Especially from your position, because you're inside, but you're outside, but you're
Right,
inside. You're
right.
like one of the guys, but you're not. But you are, but you're not.
I'm not.
But yeah, you are. If you're one of the guys. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're one of the, yeah.
I'm tracking. I'm there.
Like I like doing interviews with you. So like even when I play, like Mike Keith, oh yeah, Mike, your cousin, you're something like your fan, So I was here long enough. So if you're here, like you're one of the guys, we're not gonna sit in the locker room and chop. So I understand like where your standpoint is coming from, because it's like you can kind of see that real person in the football player,
right?
So,
well, and to see him on the plane doing that,
right?
Yeah.
It's just like how Steve McNair was, and you just the guys that go through so much to do their job and do it well, to have the privilege to watch how they did it. Eddie George, you. People like that of that ilk, and we've got some guys like that right now, which is one of the exciting things. Is we talked about Jack Gibbons earlier. I mean, here's a guy. Mike Vrabel said you got to get faster, and what did he do? He came back faster than he was in his rookie year last year. And
it's interesting you say that, because I don't know if his speed came because of his physical attributes. But I do know, based off that play we spoke about, he dissects the plays faster, and that allows him to be fast. And a lot of the times that I hear you on the radio during the game and speak about him, and other people speak about him, that's the credit that he's been given. So when I actually seen I'm like, that's a real play that I could not make right now. A lot of people can't make that play. So for sure.
All right, a break and then back with more. Titans Tonight with Keith Bulluck, presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners, continues on Titans Radio. So today, the class of 2025 modern era players for the Hall of Fame, they came out with their semifinalist list. And it is going to be cut from 25 to 15 in the next few weeks. Here are the 25. Eric Allen, cornerback. Jared Allen, defensive end. Willie Anderson, offensive tackle. Anquan Bolden, wide receiver. Jahari Evans, guard. Antonio Gates, tight end. James Harrison, linebacker. Rodney Harrison, safety. Torrey Holt, wide receiver. Luke Kuechly, linebacker. Eli Manning, quarterback. Robert Mathis, defensive end, linebacker. Steve Smith, senior, wide receiver. Terrell Suggs, outside linebacker. Fred Taylor, running back. Earl Thomas, defensive back. Adam Vinatieri, place kicker. Hines Ward, wide receiver. Ricky Waters, running back. Reggie Wayne, wide receiver. Richmond Webb, offensive tackle. Vince Wilfork, defensive tackle. Steve Wisniewski, guard. Darren Woodson, safety, and Marshall Yanda, guard tackle from the Baltimore Ravens. So we ask everybody in the group to pick their 15. You get to pick. So Rhett Bryan, the ever-reliable one, here are the guys he picked. Willie Anderson, Eric Allen, Hines Ward, Reggie Wayne, Vince Wilfork, Darren Woodson, Jahari Evans, Antonio Gates, James Harrison, Eli Manning, Robert Mathis as a pass rusher, Terrell Suggs as a pass rusher, neither as a linebacker, as pass rushers. Running back Freddie Taylor, defensive end Jared Allen, kicker Adam Vinatieri. Did you have yours?
I have my list.
All right.
I have Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Anquan Bolden, Antonio Gates, James Harrison, Robert Mathis, Terrell Suggs, Fred Taylor, Adam Vinatieri, Hines Ward, Ricky Waters, Reggie Wayne, Vince Wilfork, Darren Woodson, Marshall Yanda.
Yikes.
That was mine.
Did you do yours, Keith?
Yes.
Okay.
I got Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Willie Anderson, Antonio Gates, Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly, Eli Manning, T. Sizzle, Fred Taylor, Vinatieri. How many is that?
That's 10.
I got 5 more.
You got 5 more.
Lil Weezy, Reggie Wayne. That's what I call him. Man, I don't know. I think that's kind of where the bus stops for me.
So
I
you
mean,
Got 11. Marshall Yonda, because he had compartment syndrome in a leg and played the next week. That was crazy.
So my thing is, like, anybody on this list and whoever's been been nominated deserves. Did I say Torrey Holt?
You did not.
You did not.
Oh well, yeah, that's definitely he should have been in a while ago.
So that's 12.
Yeah, I mean
That's pretty
he's been a semifinalist now 11 times.
And I feel everybody else will get in, but like if I had to, for this year, that's what I would do. Like I feel some guys should wait. Like Steve Smith, he's gonna get in. He should wait. Robert Mathis, he's gonna get in. He's not a first ballot. Some of these guys to me are not first ballot,
I get
candidates.
it.
But Luke Kuechly, I definitely think he's a first ballot.
I picked.
I'm sorry. I felt, he's one of those. He's super, like, all the attributes. He's a first-round pick, obviously. But, like, the way he diagnosed the game and played the game, you can see that he put the time. When I watched him play, because I watched him a lot when I was retired, I enjoyed watching him play because of some of the plays he made. A lot of the plays he made, he knew film study.
Robert Mathis is the only player I've actually been afraid of that I worked with. I was so afraid to talk to him. I think I only called him Mr. Mathis when I had to talk to him, and so I picked him in case he was listening.
I have a question for you. So you speak about Robert Mathis. You got to see him a lot more than me. I understand he was there during some of those years, but I feel like his career kind of took off more in the latter parts, with the Colts because 2003 to about 2007, 2008, I feel like it was like more Dwight Freeney and the Colts as a whole, Cato June and all, and then Robert Mathis carved his.
He did.
He niched his space within there, and obviously becoming the player that he was. So I don't really remember him killing us as much as Freeney did.
Well, he also played the run, which Freeney didn't.
Gotcha.
I love Freeney, and he belongs in the Hall of Fame, and he is. But here are mine: Jared Allen, Willie Anderson, Antonio Gates, James Harrison, Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly, Steve Smith Sr., Terrell Suggs, Fred Taylor, Heinz Ward, Ricky Waters, Reggie Wayne, Richmond Webb, Vince Wilfork, and Darren Woodson. I'm the only one who didn't take Vinatieri.
Yeah, I mean, look, my thing with Ricky Waters, I think he's deserving, but I think Eddie's deserving too.
I do too.
Vinatieri was in the league for 3,000 years. Just give it to him based on that.
No. We get a break, and then we're back with the final segment of Titans Tonight.
I love it.
Pinnacle Financial Partners on Titans Radio. Titans headed to Houston this weekend. We're on the air at 11 a.m. Central Time. Titans and the Texans from NRG Stadium for the 45th time.
Is that real?
Yes.
Wow.
What's the series?
23-21 Tennessee.
Let's go Titans.
That's why you got to win one this year to keep the advantage.
Oh, man, you can't let the Texans catch us.
Yes.
Ugh.
You played in the first one.
Yeah, we set it off. But they were an expansion team.
That's right.
They had David Carr.
They did.
He was, anyway. But
Oh, no.
he's good at TV.
That's good.
He wasn't that good at quarterback.
You could say that for a lot of us, Keith.
Yeah.
Hey, you can say it for myself. I wasn't that good at quarterback either.
But what about Joey Barranco bringing you one of your last Titans helmets and some red gloves?
Actually, this is the Sean Taylor year. It has a 21 patch on it. And these are the authentic red gloves.
Okay, in 30 seconds, tell us why you started wearing red gloves.
I started wearing red gloves because I always noticed the red really faintly in the helmet.
Yes.
And then my first year starting, Javon gave me a pair of red gloves. They were Reebok, but I was Nike. So then the next year I asked Joey to order me a pair. And then ever since that, it was history. I just like the swag to it. I had my sleeves.
It looked good.
Had my hand.
It looks so good.
It looks good now.
It looks good now. And I also like the light blue shoes the guys wear now, too.
I got to check that out.
You love shoes.
We like the red bottoms. We used to wear the red bottoms.
Yeah.
Ooh, fancy. It's an outfit.
It is.
It's not an outfit. For Keith Bulluck and Amy Wells, Mike Keith says, we'll talk to you Sunday in Houston. Good night, everybody.
You have your outfit on?
It's an outfit.
It's not an outfit.